Today I'll be reacting to 10 things I love about living in the USA as a European. My friends, this should be a fascinating one. But before I go into that, let me ask you for one thing. If you can leave a like, thank you so much. It's the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, well, in that case, yeah, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description. I love this type of videos. Let's play it.
Why did I move to America? Well,
Great
there are
question.
just a lot of things that I love about living here, so today I'll tell you about my 10 favorite things about living in the US.
10 things. Okay. This will be easy, I feel like.
Hallo, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Felicia and I'm a German living in the US. As many of you already know, I was born and raised in Munich, and
Beautiful
I first came
city.
to the US in 2016 for an exchange semester during my undergrad. I then came back for an internship, then I came back for my master's again, and then I was lucky enough to win the green card lottery, which is why
Whoa.
I'm now here as a permanent resident. And
Wait, she won the lottery green card. Oh, wow, that's amazing. I'm sorry, but that's actually mind blown, you know. A content creator that I... Okay, that's fantastic. What? I'm sorry. What?
I was lucky enough to win the green card lottery, which is why
Whoa.
I'm now here as a permanent resident. And of course, people ask me a lot, why did I do this? Why did I move here? Why leave Germany? And the answer to that is that I didn't leave Germany because I didn't like it there anymore, or because Germany isn't a good country to live in, because Germany is a pretty amazing country to live in. But the reason is that every time I was here, I just really enjoyed it here. Those of you who have lived
America is
around before
amazing.
probably know how exciting it can be and how amazing it can feel to like challenge yourself, get out of your comfort zone by living in a completely different country where everything is new. So the excitement is definitely one reason why I came here, but the other reason is that I just love a lot about the US and about American culture. And what those things are exactly, that's what I'll tell you now. So here are 10 things I love about living in the US. The first point on my list is that I love how open and friendly Americans are. Not every
This could be also if one day I was able to move to America, this would be my number one reason. I have Americans as great people, you know what I mean? They are very, very friendly, at least to me, of course. There is always a bit of a bubble in this type of communities here on YouTube, but I really, really like Americans.
Every single one, of course.
I feel like you guys also like me, so that helps.
So just a general disclaimer, whenever I make like a generalizing statement about Americans, this obviously doesn't apply to every individual out there, but it's just my personal experience with the majority of Americans in comparison to Germans. So overall, Americans are a lot more open and friendly than Germans, and that's just something that makes being away from home a lot easier, and it makes living here really enjoyable. This includes...
Okay, let me say one thing. Comparing with my country, I also love my country, but one thing that I noticed quite a lot is Americans are quite more positive, you know. You guys really believe, you know, if you guys have this positive attitude that is very infectious, that if you want that, you can get that, basically. And in a lot of countries, I feel like it's not that way. But probably America being number one, you guys have your ego up there, you know what I mean? But I think that's a tremendous thing, and it's very inspirational, actually.
that approaching people and...
Actually, let's run a bit back, sorry.
Here, and it makes living here really enjoyable. This includes that approaching people and talking to each other is very easy and comfortable here. In Germany, the threshold to do those things is a little bit higher, but here you can pretty much just walk up to someone and start talking to them, like if you have a question, for example. This especially works at certain social settings, of course, like at a gathering or when you're at work or school, but people even approach each other just at the store or on the street sometimes. And most Americans are really friendly too. They're polite to each other, they usually have a friendly tone, they're interested in what you have to say, they share personal stories with you, they give you compliments, and if people are in a bad mood, they don't usually take it out on everyone around around them, which in Germany I sometimes feel like you can just tell that someone is in a bad mood, and obviously that doesn't brighten your own mood either. The second point on my list is that it's easy to make friends in the US. Since most Americans are so open and friendly, I found it really easy to make friends here in the US, which obviously made my experience here so much better in the beginning. Because when you
Okay, that's a tremendous point. I mean, I feel like I thought this was also a bit of a problem in America. You know, not this is a problem in the world, but with social media stuff like that, I feel like people are more. People are getting a bit more antisocial. I don't know. This is a hot take. I know that, but I'm glad that in America it's still easy to make friends.
you come to a new country and don't know anybody, having friends changes a lot actually, and it's pretty much the first step to feeling at home in the new country. And people were also really hospitable in the beginning. They offered to show me around when they heard that I had just arrived, or they drove me to places because they knew that I didn't have a car, or they invited me to hang out with them and their friends, or to come along on trips. So that was really amazing for me. But even after 3 years, I just love how there isn't a really big threshold to becoming someone's friend, and how it's also really easy to connect different friend groups with each other. Like in Germany and some other European cultures, people kind of prefer to stay within their established friend circle, and if you have several of those circles, you usually hang out with one or the other. But here, connecting friend groups and also inviting people to join if you've already made plans with your friends is really common and simple. These things can be a lot more complicated in Germany, which is also why for people who are new to Germany, it can be really tricky to make friends in the beginning. But the good news is that once you've made friends in Germany, it usually means that you can really rely on them and that they're going to be in your life for a while. Whereas here, I'd say that, and of course this varies a lot, but overall, I'd say that not only the threshold of making friends is pretty low, but also of losing them or losing sight of each other. But the point still stands, I love how easy it is to make friends here. Americans are a lot more spontaneous than Germans, and I love it. Germans...
Just one thing, my friends. So, I get a lot of emails from you guys. And a lot of them are people saying, Dre, if you come to America, I will drive you to this place, to that place. I got emails saying that I could stay at their house and stuff like that. Of course, that's very touching. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I know you guys watch my videos, but it shows a lot about, that you can trust a random Portuguese guy at the end of the day. That for me it's very touching, but is the way I want to put things, and I appreciate all of that support. But I mean, I feel like I'm repeating myself, right? You guys know I have tremendous respect for America and for Americans, of course.
Love planning, so most Germans plan things like hanging out with friends at least a few days or even weeks in advance. Here I really enjoy that people are much more spontaneous, and sometimes it can even happen that you didn't know what you were going to do tonight, but then suddenly you end up having like a game night with 8 friends or something, and that just happened like the hour before. Just an example, of course, but I hope you guys know what I mean. In Germany, the majority of those 8 people probably would have already had plans, or if they didn't, they may not have been up for a spontaneous thing like that. The downside to this is, of course, that people also bail spontaneously sometimes, and if you like to plan ahead a lot, it can get tricky at times. Americans are very good at enjoying themselves and treating themselves without feeling the need to have an actual reason for it, and I personally find that
what that means?
To be a very healthy way of looking at life. Germans often have the need to justify those things towards others. Like if they treat themselves with unhealthy food, or if they go to the bars and get drunk, or if they spend a lot of money on a new pair of shoes, or whatever it is, Germans often compare themselves with others and judge each other in certain ways. And so if you do something where you feel like other people may think something like, oh, why did he spend all that money on shoes when we all know that he doesn't have that much money and he should have just saved that for emergencies, Germans tend to explain themselves and justify their actions towards others when technically they don't owe anyone an explanation, in my opinion.
This is true, but I think we all struggle with this a bit, right, my friends? At the end of the day, I know we should live the life we want, but some people judge us, and it's easier to say than to be done, you know what I mean? But yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, you should live your life the way you want.
In the US, people don't really do that as
If you want that burger, go for it, my friend.
much, but I also don't see people being as judgy as in Germany, and Americans don't begrudge each other as much either. So I think that's probably the reason why people don't feel as compelled to justify their actions here. For me personally, this whole attitude of just treat yourself if you're in the mood for it definitely had a positive impact on how I live my life. These things are all
Dude, I'm not living in America, but you guys have been having a positive impact on me. With all the positivity, you know what I mean? And I hope I also have a positive impact on you guys, because I also try to be very positive and always show the beautiful side of America. But it's very infectious. I'm repeating myself, but yeah, I mean, I love it.
somewhat related to each other, but the next thing that I love about living in the US is this optimistic and positive atmosphere here. Germans are oftentimes a lot more skeptical and critical, so I find that positive vibe here in the US really inspiring. You can observe this in all kinds of different contexts and parts of life, like how people just compliment each other a lot, but to give one concrete example, you can see this a lot in the field of entrepreneurship, especially when it comes to new ideas and thinking out of the box. So
True.
broadly speaking, when the average German would ask why, the average American asks why not? So while Germans
This is
often
so
focus on
true.
finding potential problems and reasons why something could possibly fail, Americans focus more on the potential and have
Yeah.
more of a can-do attitude. And
My friends, American mentality is the best mentality. No joke, is the best mentality. You guys are so positive, and this, like I said, since you guys are number one, you guys think, yeah, of course, do it, and you'll be at the top. That's so infectious. You guys have no idea. I really, really love that.
don't give up easily, even if they fail a few times at first. And this attitude is something
You know that quote that people say, you never fail if you don't stop trying? That's BS in a lot of places, but I feel like in America it's not. You know, if you are trying, yeah, continue.
that Americans don't only have about their own life, but towards others too. Celebrating other people's success, encouraging others, and also supporting them to use their
Clap
talents
for
in the
America.
best possible way is a part of American culture that I
Deserve
would
it.
love for Germans to adopt a little. This kind of ties in with what I said about judging each other earlier, but Germans unfortunately often begrudge each other's successes, and instead of being happy for other people, we oftentimes feel envy and somehow feel like another person's success may make us less successful or valued. Again,
Okay, for sure there is something of that also in America. Let's also all not be that naive, but overall, it's much better. You know what people say? People don't want you. People does not mind you to be good as long you are not better than them. I feel like that happens a lot, at least in my country. being real, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's fascinating.
this doesn't apply to every single German, of course, but it's definitely something that you can see in German society. And who knows, maybe this optimistic and positive spirit here in the US still goes back to the pioneers who came to this new country with a lot of big dreams. Very closely related to that is that I also love how enthusiastic Americans can be.
This is very connected. Enthusiasm, positivity, being open. I think all of these very good points. I would probably make more or less the same if I had to describe my experience with you, my friends. But yeah.
Whether it's about their favorite sports team or a band or just the school they're attending, Americans are
Favorite sport team? Cowboys. Band? Alan Jackson. Oh, he's not a band. Oh, no, never mind. Let's continue.
usually not afraid to share their enthusiasm with the public, and they're also not ashamed to stand up for what they like and to show their excitement to everyone else. As I've mentioned in my video on sports cultures, Germans can be like that when it comes to soccer, but besides that, we're usually a lot more reserved and modest about those kind of things.
Oh no, soccer fans are crazy. Soccer? Football? Okay, let's call it soccer.
Unfortunately, this also sometimes applies to our own accomplishments and things that we should be really proud of. Sometimes people are very modest and humble about those things too and feel like they can't really celebrate openly because it would make them look like they're bragging and make them unlikable, which I think is really sad. So I think being positive and celebrating each other and supporting each other is awesome in the US. The next point on my list is that I love how individualism is valued in the US and how I feel like that the need to fit in and to float with the current isn't as big as in Germany. This is
Wait. This is a tremendous point. Let's run it back. Did I understand this correct? Wait.
Supporting each other is awesome in the US. The next point on my list is that I love how individualism is valued in the US and how I feel like that the need to fit in and to float with the current isn't as big as in Germany. This is based
So this can relate to self-responsibility? I love that.
on my personal experience, and it is compared to Germany, and this may vary a lot in different places between rural and urban areas, but overall I feel like you're really encouraged here to be who you want to be and do what you want as long as you don't break the law or harm anyone. I've talked about this with my German friend in this video a little,
like that.
but Germans tend to look at each other a lot in public. Some people would say that we stare, while in the US I feel like it really doesn't matter what you look like. Whether you're wearing gym clothes out to the bar or have a lot of tattoos and piercings or are bigger than other people, I feel like Americans don't give you weird looks usually. And to be honest, I don't hear Americans talk about others a lot either, which I think is awesome. The motto is kind of like mind your own business, but in a good way. Okay, this is old news, but another thing that I love about living here is that the United States are huge and there's just
This is a tremendous point. Space. Look at the size of American homes. It's crazy.
so much space here. In Europe, everything is much more dense and just smaller than in the US. This starts with
And not everything.
the country itself, but it also applies to how streets are much wider, stores are bigger and have bigger selections, houses are bigger and you don't have to be rich to have your own yard and driveway, and even things like fitting rooms in a store are bigger. So
Yo, real talk, my friends. To have the houses you guys have in America with 2 pickup trucks at the garage, you are rich in my book.
except for a few
In Europe,
dense
in America, I guess you are middle class. But I have been seeing the news, and middle class with all the inflation, I've been struggling a bit in America, right, my friends?
cities in the US, everything is just more spread out here.
Probably 5 years ago, 10 years ago was quite easier, I'm assuming.
And that definitely gives me a feeling of freedom. On to the next point, I also love how within one of the same country, there's just so much scenic diversity. I mean, Germany
It's a beautiful
has a very
country.
diverse landscape too, and so do a lot.
Actually, this could be my main point. I said I love the people, but I also love America. Of course, I know both are connected, but America is so beautiful. It's insane. It's actually, no, it's insane. It's insane. God was very kind with America. God bless America.
Of other countries, but I love that
God bless America and God blessed America, if that makes sense.
in the US you have 2 different coasts, you have really warm and really cold climates, you have swamps and beaches and the big lakes and mountains and vast openness and the
And now the bad part, and some crazy animals. Yeah. But apart from that, it's tremendous.
canyons when you go out west, and still when you travel all of this, you're in the same country the whole time with the same language and the same currency and all the things you're used to. Okay, so for the last point, this topic has come up quite a lot in my recent videos about how the US is all about convenience, and I mean, I would lie if I said I didn't enjoy that. You can pretty much get anything you want here 24/7. Okay, right now you can't with this whole pandemic going on, but before this happened, you could, and hopefully after. A lot of the stores here like Target or Walmart have pretty much everything you need in just one place. So
Wait, but you cannot shop Target or Walmart. Wait, they deliver at home? Oh no, that's crazy.
everything from groceries to furniture, clothing,
I
medicine,
mean, it makes sense actually, but they are so big, I thought you had to go to the store.
medicine, hardware, but also in just regular grocery stores, you can usually get way more than just food. And as I've mentioned before, stores have huge selections, so like a full aisle just for cereal is pretty normal, or like 20 different brands of pasta sauce and those kind of things. And in addition to that, there are drive-thrus for almost everything, so you can just conveniently get food from your car, or coffee, or medicine, or cash, or even liquor. And of course, the
Can you imagine if Walmart creates a drive-thru? That would be insane, right?
US has amazing customer service, which is something that I absolutely enjoy about living here, and this also plays into the whole convenience thing. Most salespeople at stores are extremely friendly and help you wherever they can. Waiters are usually really happy to accommodate your special requests, and even at the grocery store, you don't even have to bag your own things in most cases. And for those of you who think that customer service is bad here in the US, believe me, you do not want to come to Germany then.
Okay, 5 head points.
So that was the end of the list. Those were my personal top 10 things about living in the US. My friends and family
Great
have
top 10.
definitely heard all of these before, because I tend to talk about this a lot, especially whenever I'm in Germany, because then I kind of like notice how those things are missing there. I'm sure this can be a little annoying sometimes for the people around me, so I apologize. But maybe now that I've expressed it in a video, I won't feel the need to talk about it as much. And I'm interested in what you guys value the most about the place that you live in, or if maybe there is a country that you're dreaming of moving to, what is it that you like about that country the most? Share your stories in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a
Great
thumbs
video.
up if you did, and subscribe to my channel for free if you like what I do on this channel in general. Also,
Good for me
activate
also.
the bell to get notifications for new uploads, and follow me on Instagram. Other than that, stay safe and healthy, everyone. Stay home if you can. Wash your hands, and I hope I'll see you next time. Cheers!
Okay, COVID time. My friends, thank you so much for watching this with me. This was amazing. I really had a lot of fun. The air points are basically maybe some difference, but I agree overall. I mean, I thought it was tremendous. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this with me. Means a lot that you guys end up staying until the end. See you in the next one. Bye.